Alright, this is my first time doing this. This is for Alan and Brian. You guys did an A&B show where you were talking about the UK comedies. And I thought, well, I'd take you up on your offer. I'd check some of them out, see what I thought about them, and see how they translated over to the American Funny Bone. I went out there, got Time Trumpet. It's a nice show, but since the older celebrities that it was spoofing and stuff were not ones I was aware of, it didn't really translate over here. So, the first one was a bust. I took it and I wiped it off my hard drive pretty quick, but it looked like a very interesting show, and I give you kudos because that definitely had something I'd probably be interested in if I was living in the UK. The other one you talked about was the IT crowd, and being an IT guy myself, I thought I'd give it a try, and it was hilarious. It was pretty damn goofy. It wasn't something that I would take offense to as an IT guy. It was funny. I watched the 6 episodes and looking forward to seeing the next series if it comes out. The other one you talked about was Father Ted. I got Father Ted. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Let you know what I think after I have a chance to look at it. I did get a chance to look at Space though, and yeah, that was good. That was good. I know what year it was set in. It must have been sometime in the 90s, but Space was good. I enjoyed it. It was a hoot. The other one I've seen recently talked about was The Office, on saying the UK version is funnier than the American version. Quite frequently I find that so, especially on shows that air on the BBC, because the BBC has 29 minutes is what the video ends up being, and when they try to port that over to American, they said, we're going to keep the exact same scripts for the beginning, and then what happens? They say, well, we have only 22 minutes of video because we have all these advertisements that we have to do. So they cut out some of the best lines. Unfortunately, I don't get The Office. It's more like watching a train wreck. You just have to stop and look at it and check it out. I think the American version was a little bit lighter, and maybe that's why people think the UK version is a little bit funnier, because it's a little bit darker. But boy, I tell you, I sat there. I watched the whole first series of The Office UK, and I watched like half the first series, The Office American. They were both train wrecks, and it was hard to see. The UK version was more of an Office set back in the mid '80s. I mean, they might have tried to play it up as something new, but no, the way they handled that Office was early '80s, probably, as far as the jokes and humor. The American version tried to bring it up to 2000. They had a little bit more lighter, not as edgy, flagrant workplace bullshit, but it's a train wreck. I could sit there and I could watch a train wreck, but I don't normally do it, in front of my TV set. So, I'm just gonna have to pass. The movie I watched, I didn't like that to begin with either. But the movie, I watched it more than once, and it got a little funnier. I watched it a third time, the movie was a little funnier. So maybe with the TV show, it's the same way. It might be an acquired taste. You talked about Americans, only being exposed like Mighty Python. Well, certainly, that got over here, and we enjoyed it. Fawlty Towers, great. Recently, Absolutely Fabulous tried to come over here. It didn't make it. It was on for a little bit, and it went away, and it's not coming back. Where you can still find Fawlty Towers pretty much any year or sometime. You can find it on TV, and Mighty Python skits, but you don't find a whole Mighty Python series anymore. But so Absolutely Fabulous didn't get it. Ones that you didn't have that I thought were quite amazing. One was Coupling. The UK Coupling was hilarious. It only lasted 4 series. I was waiting for that 5th series to come out, and it didn't happen. It didn't show up. So I guess Oliver just sunk the ship, or they decided that was it. And what it was the writers decided that was it. That was their story, and that's where they go. And as with so many UK series, the writers go through and they do what they need to do. They do it well, and then they move on. So it's kind of interesting. But Coupling was hilarious. They tried to port that over to American. it was a disaster. The advertisements for it were, they hyped this thing up so much to where I knew what the show was about, and the hype, there's no way it could exist. And then the first show comes on, they used the exact same script, except what they do? Well, again, they had 7 minutes. They had to cut. They cut some of the best jokes right out of the first. I'm waiting to see the joke. It's not there. The joke that the whole title was, the Flushables, the very first one, was titled that for the joke, and that joke wasn't even in the American version. So it's like, it just didn't work for me. Another one that was great was Cold Feet. Now you might say, well, Cold Feet was a drama comedy, Well, it was, but Cold Feet was the first series was absolutely hilarious. It was 75% comedy, 25% drama. After the first series, they went to a 50-50 mix, and then you get into the last series, Series 5, and they went into a 75% drama, 25% comedy. It was a little darker. It ended on a little darker note. It was a good humor ending, but it was a tearjerker too. So hopefully I didn't give away too much to anybody who wants to see that. But Cold Feet, highly recommend it. But like I said, the first series was incredibly hilarious. The rest of it was a very good show, super show. But it went into half and half, comedy drama. Another one from the UK that I would recommend is The Worst Week of My Life. I thought it unique that it was a 7-episode series from the get-go. This is it. We start off with Monday, I guess, and we work all the way through to Sunday. So that was kind of interesting. The fact that it was right on the heels of Meet the Parents, or whatever the hell that show was that was out there, or Meet the Faulkners, or which was similar. But I'd give The Worst Week of My Life kudos above that movie. It was good UK stuff there. One show that I did try to watch, I heard some things about it. I heard it was, because after coupling in Cold Feet, I was looking around, and they had 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps, and I said, all right, I'll give this a try. So I've got like all the series of that, and I started watching the first episode, and I could not get past the accent. Now, I've never had a British show where I couldn't get past the accent. I always understood the accents. This is a unique, I don't know, maybe more urban accent. I don't know. I don't know where the accent comes from. Maybe you can tell me. I've tried watching it a couple more times. I started getting the hang of the accent, so I might actually end up watching that series. But anyway, that's where it left off. I've got to check out extras. Watched the first one with Ben Stiller. It was funny. I don't see how it's going to go, but you said that the other people that were on there for this first series, I'm going to have to go and watch them, see how the rest of it did. But anyway, this was my first attempt at one of these video responses, or video in general at all. And this is for you, Alan and Brian. I find you guys hilarious. When I first watched that episode that you put up on Alan's channel with where y'all were watching Lethal Weapon 3, and I couldn't get the chemistry. I didn't understand the chemistry between you two. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't see a boyfriend-girlfriend thing there. I didn't know what the chemistry was. I didn't see a Will and Grace thing there either. I'm trying to figure out what is the deal. And then later on, I watched one of the other episodes, and it said you were brother and sister, and I said, oh, that is absolutely, now you crack me up even more, because that just makes so much more sense. And the digs between the two of you is great. So hopefully this was all right for y'all. Come back, let me know what you think about some of the things I recommended. Coupling, Cold Feet. See if you have anything else out there. I know y'all are young, and I'm not. So there might be some. I'm gonna check out Father Ted. Let you know what I think about that, and I'll let you know in the future on some American comedies that you may not have seen before that are absolutely hilarious. So that's it for now. Ta-ta.